Well, yes, indeed, as the reality of life, we have ups and downs. It's either good or bad, but whatever it is, we need to thank God for the gift of life. It's 11:30 and it's now time for the Monday edition of the program Economic Trend on the Rock City 101.9 FM. And to take you through the various reports on economic trend, my name is Chienye. Good morning. Okay, this very report on CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission, says it is currently working on closing the manual registration in all its remaining locations nationwide. The Commission's acting Registrar General Azuka Azinge spoke during a two-day strategic management planning retreat in Kefi, Nasarawa State. The initiative, according to Azinge, is to extend the online services across the country to repositioning the Commission towards organizational excellence, which of course is top priority of this administration. Farmers in northwest Nigeria are fearing for their future after rats invaded their farms and destroyed their rice crops. Officials warn that the damage to the farms in Kebbi State could lead to a severe shortage of locally grown rice. The area is one of the biggest rice producers in the country, and it is the worst rodent invasion since the boom in rice farming in Kebbi State, and farmers are calling for quick intervention from government. In addition to the rodents, the farmers are also faced with the problem of birds which feed on the rice fields before they mature. The state deputy governor Samuela Yumbe says he has visited some of the affected areas and explained that the government will take necessary measures to dislodge the rodents. The rise in the population of rodents and their menace to rice farms was reported by the Kebbi State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Just last year, the farmers suffered huge losses due to poor weather. And then this very year, they have to battle with rodents. Distillers and Blenders Association of Nigeria, a sub-sectoral group of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has raised the alarm over the threat to its 420 billion naira investment due to the recent proposal to increase excise duties. The group, in an open letter to President Muhammadu Buhari, says the proposal by the federal government for an upward review of excise duties, the levies, tax on locally produced wines and spirits, will equally threaten 10,000 and 15,000 direct and indirect jobs, respectively. Its chairman, Mr. Patrick Anebe, explained that its products are not luxury items and are consumed largely by the low-end and mainstream. They warned that any huge adjustment in products occasioned by high excise duty will lead to low demand and workers' layoff. He disclosed that the estimated contribution of Bhutan in corporate tax and value-added tax is approximately 60 billion naira per annum. Given a further breakdown of the proposed excise duty, the ban explains that the 3 year staggered excise duty are beer 30 naira, 35 naira, 35 naira, average of 34 naira per litre, and for wine 125 naira, 150 naira, 150 naira, an average of 142 naira per litre, and for spirits 150 naira, 175 naira, and 200 naira, an average of 175 naira per litre. The band said while it had always been at par with the beer subsector on excise duty payment for over 2 decades, the proposed increase for the beer sector is 6 naira per litre, and that of wine is 114 naira per litre, and the spirit 147 naira per litre, alleging that this is a clear case of discrimination against the wine and spirits subsector. And to the banking industry, Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) says it has disbursed 55.526 billion naira to over 250,000 farmers under the Anchor Barrels program in partnership with the state government and private sector group. This is coming on the heels of reports that the CBN has again intervened in the retail secondary market intervention sales to the tune of $321.4 million. The CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, made this known during the groundbreaking ceremony of Greenfield Integrated Poultry and Powderized Egg Facility at Ondo State. Farmers who benefited under the program, according to the CBN Governor, have cultivated almost 300,000 hectares of farmland for rice, wheat, maize, cotton, soybeans, and cassava. According to the CBN governor, 2 years into the implementation, the program has contributed to the creation of an estimated 890,000 direct and 2.6 million indirect jobs. Emefiele says the integrated poultry facility by Greenfield comprises a pasteurized liquid and power egg processing facility, 200,000 commercial rearing capacity, 600,000 commercial layers, egg grading and packing center, a state-of-the-art feed mill, and modern broiler processing operation. He says that analysts have put the Nigerian poultry industry to be worth about 1.2 trillion naira, comprising about 165 million birds, which would produce over 650,000 metric tons of eggs and 290,000 metric tons of poultry, making Nigeria the largest producer of eggs in Africa. Despite this huge success in the subsector, Emefiele says statistics from Eurostat, however, highlights that between 2009 and 2011, over 3 million metric tons of poultry products were imported into the Republic of Benin and eventually smuggled into Nigeria. In his speech, Akeredolu estimated the value of this project by Greenfield Investment, which is expected to be completed in 1 year at about 42 billion naira. More than 300 companies and 225 enterprises have set up shops in Ogun State in the past 5 years, according to the state government. Also, the state now attracts 75% of foreign direct investments into Nigeria. The Commerce and Industry Commissioner, Otumba Bimbo Ashiru, made us known at the quarterly meeting of the state government and members of the state chapter of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria in Abeokuta. Ashiru, promising that the state government wants to retain the status of the state as Nigeria's industrial hub, attributes the profile to the massive investment in infrastructure and security. According to him, these, as well as the harmonization of taxes, have encouraged the influx of both local and foreign investors into the state. The state chairman of MAN, Wale Adebite, commends the state government for giving manufacturers a rebate on the land use charge in 2017, but complained over the harassment of members by officials of local governments over tax payments. Trade Union Congress (TUC) has asked state governors who cannot pay salaries and pensions to resign. The Congress President Boboike Gama makes the call while addressing newsmen at the end of the meeting of the Union's National Executive Council in Lagos. According to TUC, only Lagos State Government is paying salaries of workers and pensions of retired workers as at when due, while others, according to him, have problems of salaries, gratuities, pensions, or contributory pension scheme deductions from salaries. Junior Oil Workers Union, the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers (NUPENG), has asked the presidency to explore a fresher option in ending the form of oil petrol scarcity nationwide. The union warns that its members will cripple the petroleum sector if the Depot and Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria (DAPMAN) is allowed to carry out its threat. NUPENG President Igwe Acheze, addressing labor correspondents in Lagos, says the Depot and Petroleum Product Marketers had threatened to sack 10,000 oil workers on the payroll. DAPMAN, last February 20, had given the presidency a 14-day deadline to pay 650 billion naira subsidy owed its members, or they will shut down their depots and fuel stations. NUPENG's president asked the presidency to think out of the box and end the petrol prices and address the demands of the depot owners as well as the product marketers. Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria says Fulani herdsmen have no plan to launch any form of attacks in the southeast region, asking public to ignore such news in circulation. The group says they are worried over those behind it. The southeast chairman of the group, as well as in top cattle breeders in the state in Enugu, explains that there is no basis for Fulani herdsmen to plan such attack when they have no grudge against any of the states. He says that Fulani cattle breeders are in the southeast region to seek the greener pasture to feed the cattle and not for terror attack. He asks cattle breeders in the state to always look out for strange faces in the communities and report promptly to the appropriate authorities. 20 minutes to noon, and it's still the program Economic Trend on Rock City 101.9 FM. And picking this report from Ogun State government, it says crude oil and natural gas had been discovered in large quantity in the state. The oil deposit is discovered in Tungeji Island in the Ikwoke local government area in the Bewa axis of the state. Governor Bikuli Amosu made this known while receiving the flag officer commanding the Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Sag Abar, at the governor's office of Kemoso in Abeokuta. Amosu says he was notified of the discovery in a letter he received on Friday from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC). With the discovery, the governor asked the military to be more vigilant to prevent the area from being encroached upon by the neighboring Benin Republic. The governor also asked the Nigerian Navy to dominate the waterways in the state as security reports indicate that militants and bandits are still in the creeks. The naval chief told Amosu that the people of Tungeji want to remain in Nigeria but want the presence of the state government in the axis. He also said that security forces will soon commence the patrol of creeks in the state, including Arepo axis. Standards Organization of Nigeria (SON) has embarked on a nationwide exercise of destroying fake and expired tires. The move, according to the organization, is to safeguard lives and property. Its Director General Osita Aboloma said this through its Operation Bale, meaning Operation Sweep. The days of fake and expired tires, which caused deaths and economic losses, were over. Aboloma, who was represented by SON Director of Inspectorate and Compliance, Bede Obayi, at the description of some fake and expired tires in Lagos, says they're going round the nation to pick all the expired tires from every corner of the nation and also ensure that they are properly destroyed. The standards body noted that recent statistics, which was issued by the Federal Road Safety Commission (FRSC), showed that the rate of accidents was caused by substandard tires and that had reduced. Shell's subsidiary in Nigeria is to spend over $100 million, and that's about 36 billion naira, to replace a pipeline blown by militants in the Niger Delta in 2016. The country chair of Shell companies in Nigeria, Osange Okumbo, made this known during a panel session at the Nigeria International Petroleum Summit in Abuja. Shell, through its largest company, the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited (SPDC), it operates the Fokodas pipeline through which the crude is exported by participating companies. The company declared force majeure on Fokodas crude exports on February 21, 2016, and that was after the militant group attacked the Fokodas subsea export pipeline, which can also export up to 400,000 barrels of crude oil per day. The loss of Fokodas barrels in 2016 had the single biggest impact on Nigerian oil production out of any grade the country produces. The NNPC, a participant in the Fokodas terminal, had also said that about 300,000 barrels per day of its revenue from crude oil sales were shut in due to the vandalism of the export line. Okumba also laments that well over 90% of the spills that occurred in the Niger Delta were as a result of theft and sabotage to facilities rather than operational failures, as people widely believed. The federal government will announce the private investors in the refineries in the coming month. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Mr. Ibe Kachiko, speaking at a session during the ongoing Nigerian International Petroleum Summit (NIPS), says that the government is also considering a policy that will compel multinational oil and gas firms operating in the country to build refineries in Nigeria. By that time, Kachiko says that international oil firms will no longer be allowed to ship out all the crude oil they produce here in Nigeria. The minister noted that emphasis will shift to local production of substantial portion of the crude oil produced in the country. No internal oil company, IOC, which currently owns a refinery or refined petroleum products in the country. However, there have been recent commitments by the IOCs to build one or provide equity funding for the repair of the existing refineries. The minister says his target over the next 10 years is for Nigeria to become self-sufficient in its own power provision. gravitate from crude oil, as it were, to very refined, clean provision of fossils. DBN, that's the Development Bank of Nigeria, has unveiled nationwide strategic plan for on-lending of facility to millions of medium, small and micro enterprises across the country. DBN Managing Director Mr. Tony Okwanachi, who announces this at the just completed Kogi State SMEs Clinic, which was flagged off by Vice President Yemi Oshibadu in Lokoja, Kogi State. Okwanachi, who described MSCs as the driving force that powers every economy, both local and foreign. He promises the bank's commitment towards providing an enabling environment for Nigerian businesses in accessing required funding. We bring it under wraps on the program Economic Trend on Rock City 101.9 FM with that very report from DBN, Development Bank of Nigeria. Economic Trend will be back again same time on Friday with Olola Desoyalu on Rock City 101.9 FM. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Chienye. Good morning.